Well, Trump has vowed that nobody is getting off the hook for unfair trade and tariffs. What's your assessment of how the president is handling the trade war and his strategy?
I mean, it's so fascinating. I mean, this is classic Trump. We have seen him talk about tariffs and trade really for the last 40 years. So it really shouldn't be a surprise to anyone how he's handling the situation. It really is a classical mix of economic America first nationalism mixed with some deal-making bravado, which Trump is a classic and known for. So personally, I think he's doing incredibly well. If you're looking at it from an America First perspective, he's really got the aim of upending some really unfair, unreciprocal trade deals within the United States. And it's going to be really fascinating to see how he goes with some major allies moving forward when we're dealing with countries like not only Australia, but also India and Japan. So I think it's going to be a longer-term benefit for the United States. There might be a few sort of short-term upheaval energies going on there, especially with the cost of living. But the longer term is beneficial. I mean, it's really, the whole aim is bringing not only manufacturing back to the United States, which he's already proven to be successful with, but it's going to be incredibly beneficial for America's longer-term economic security as well.
It's interesting you say that because that's something that seems to be pretty left out of the conversation when you're looking at the mainstream media's coverage of this. There's been so much fear, a lot of hysteria around what Donald Trump has been doing. And I just love looking at your takes of when you do updates of what Donald Trump is doing on your social media platforms, because it puts a little bit of perspective back in the conversation. But what do you make of the media's coverage of this trade war and also Trump's first 3 months in office?
Oh my gosh. I mean, where do we really begin? The Australian media landscape and also elements of the American landscape is so dominated by hyperbole and hysteria. And it's been this case not only over the last few months with Donald Trump, but really for the last 5 years with everything that's gone on worldwide. There's a real disconnect with providing factual, on-the-ground information about what's actually occurring. And it's just this real sort of negative agenda. The Trump derangement syndrome and the Trump panic seems to precede any sort of common sense. And it's a wonder that why people are scared and panicking, because there's been no real involvement from any of these media commentariats to actually give a balance and perspective argument into the mainstream. So it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to change, does it? But let's look at the Democrats.
No,
they
never.
continue to dive in terms of popularity. Their attack lines are all over the place. And we just witnessed Bernie Sanders ranting about Donald Trump on stage at Coachella. So that's an insight into where they're heading and where their strategy is at. But what do you see for the Democrats and why are they struggling so much, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, where is the Democrat Party really getting their support from? It's not from the fringe lunatics, to be very fair. I mean, when we look at the Democrat support within the United States, a lot of it is coming from the older generation at the moment that I personally believe still have the opinion that this is the Democrat Party from the 1980s and the 1990s, because that's what the mainstream media and the propagandists tell them to think. But who are the Democrat Party if they're not inciting a race war, a gender war, a class war, or a geopolitical war? Like, what do they actually stand for? Mainstream America understands that maybe they don't have their backs anymore. The working class of America is certainly swinging towards the Republican Party and their policies. And you can't really beat someone who's an economic populist and also a common sense populist like Donald Trump. I mean, where are the leaderships within the Democrat Party right now? I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see over the next few years, not only who starts getting a louder voice in the United States, but also who's going to be their candidate for 2028 at the moment, because there's no suitable or viable candidates right now, that's for sure.